Good evening. Firstly, has anybody in the room been arrested in the last week? No? Well, I've met 3 people in Bath who have, so let's give them a cheer. You are in this room because you are concerned about climate breakdown. You are here tonight because you know that the world is heating up and the window of opportunity for action is almost closed. You are those that you elect to help all our citizens to dramatically reduce their carbon emissions by changing our laws, taxation, investment, infrastructure, policies and plans to make low-carbon living easier and the new norm. Greta Thunberg has spoken bluntly. Extinction Rebellion has brought central London to a standstill. School children across the world and here in Baines are protesting. Mark Carney, Governor of the Bank of England, has said that the world financial system faces an existential threat from climate change, and 8 world central banks committed themselves to greening the financial system. Tonight we will be talking about the total political commitment to force change within Bath and North East Somerset you can expect from the Liberal Democrats if we form the next administration. The Liberal Democratic Party have been campaigning positively to bring about zero carbon for many years. In 2007, we endorsed a policy paper called Towards Zero Carbon that proposed carbon taxes, tax on aircraft fuel, as well as an increased support for sustainable energy generation, higher home energy standards, and investment in public transport using funds from road freight charging. In coalition, the Liberal Democrats headed the Department of Energy Change with 2 Liberal Democrat ministers. This department was axed by the Tory government in 2016. During their tenure, both ministers put strong effort into implementing the Climate Change Act passed by Labour in 2008. The Liberal Democrats have a tradition of not just raising questions, but then taking effective action. This year, the Liberal Democrats took action when we decided it was time to work across parties to commit Baines Council to a concrete response to the climate emergency we are facing. We produced a motion to the Council, supported by the Conservatives, that commits the Council to become zero carbon by 2030. The climate emergency motion is now the policy of this Council. The aim is for Baines to be carbon neutral by 2030 and to work with partners and the community to develop a programme of action. This is a paradigm shift. The climate emergency motion means that we will have to fundamentally change existing ways of working and thinking to make change. Together, we will need to have collaboration and positivity as core principles. Together, we will have to address a collective lack in our carbon literacy levels, our understanding of what we have to do. To address carbon literacy, we will need behaviour change and the need to directly influence behaviour. We are in the process of a revolution, and for all of us, this will be challenging. The foundation of a low-carbon culture will require awareness and motivation. For many months, we have been building on our policies for our 2019 manifesto, and all of them have been underpinned throughout with the vision of reducing CO2. We want to set out what the Liberal Democrats will really do to make climate emergency motion active and enabled if we assume control of the Council in May, and this includes some of the following.
Thank you, Jo. I'm just going to run through fairly quickly what we're going to do if we are elected and control the Council. And I'll start by saying we will divide our work into 2 streams. Internal, things the Council is entirely responsible for and can deliver, and external activity. And we aim to make the Council itself carbon neutral by 2025. Externally, as you've heard from other speakers, we will use our leadership and influence with partners and the community to influence how other organisations behave. Now, we are not assuming anything following the climate change motion the Council passed. We believe that the future direction of the work should be shaped by the community in Bath and North East Somerset and not by the council itself. So what we envisage are that there will be a number of key work streams. They will include energy supply and an objective to try and reduce overall energy consumption, both in domestic buildings and in commercial buildings. And in the commercial sector, we will look to see if we can find ways to reduce waste generation by those businesses. In transport, which as you've heard, forms over a quarter of UK CO2 emissions, that is the area of highest priority for us to tackle. And we aim to achieve tangible, measurable CO2 reductions by 2030. And we will be tracking this all the way through the next decade. In waste, we will build on the work that has happened so far, which has seen recycling rates improve in Bath and North East Somerset, and amounts of residual waste fall. And finally, we will make special effort, because Bath and North East Somerset is not all urban, it is a predominantly rural area. We will take measures to protect biodiversity by protecting and enhancing the natural environment. Now, there are a number of things I can say tonight for the first time that we will do, which will hopefully give you confidence that we will deliver on what we are saying. So there are 4 things I want to draw your attention to. The first is we intend to appoint a cabinet member with sole responsibility for the delivery of this policy. He or she will be responsible for implementing the council's motion to move towards zero carbon, and there will be single political accountability within the cabinet system for that process. This is new. This is not the case at the moment. Secondly, we recognise that Bath and North East Somerset Council does not have an entirely trusted brand when it comes to delivery of projects. So we are going to set up arrangements that enable the council to be challenged on the progress we make. We will therefore establish an entirely independent advisory group supported by council resources to make sure that our feet are held to the fire. And we want those in the community, and many of you are no doubt here today, who are concerned about climate change to participate in those groups. Most importantly, though, we want young people to form a strong caucus for action in this group to give our future citizens a voice, and that's not something I've heard here tonight. Thirdly, we will work with our Liberal Democrat MP, Vera Hobhouse, whose present brief is energy and climate, and her role is to help us place pressure on the government and other state agencies to bring forward policies that help the fight to become zero carbon. Fourthly, we will charge one of the council's scrutiny panels, the one that becomes concerned with the environment, with assisting with this work, and which we strongly hope will be cross-party and not party political. Now, our timetable for change begins with the appointment of the new leader of the council and their cabinet towards the end of May. We intend to ask council officers to assemble the expertise above and beyond what exists already to support the new cabinet member in their role, and we will look to allocate resources to support that work. We expect these early stages to be complete by mid-July. Council has already agreed that there should be a public report presented towards the autumn, and we are committed to do that. And we hope that the scope of the work and what the council is going to work on will be clear by that time in the early autumn. Now, we know there is no global silver bullet here. Rather, there must be thousands of individual actions which, when combined, begin to mitigate the damage we have caused to our planet. We do need to lessen our impact on the world around us, and a shift in our daily actions and activities, rethinking our energy use, our means of travel and consumption can still mean a rich and fulfilling lifestyle. So there is much to do and not much time to do it, but we are ready to make Bath and North East Somerset one of the greenest local councils you will find. Thank you.